Good evening. Nice to see everybody. Got some pictures to show you from our time in Brazil, and then also got some prayer points and tell you a bit about the news and stuff that's been going on.
Yeah, so first of all, we've just got some pictures kind of showing what Brazil's like. So as you can see, it's a very beautiful country. It's got a very variable landscape. On the right is Fatima, which was the neighbourhood that we were staying in for the 2.5 weeks. It's also got some of the steepest streets in the world. And as you can see, that was the one day where it rained. There was a proper storm, and some of the roads just aren't set up to deal with that, and they're just running with mud. It goes into people's houses as well. And my personal favourite Brazilian dish is açaí, which is like a kind of pudding ice cream sort of thing, but it's made of a special fruit. And on the right is Jamie on a motorbike, because that is a big mode of transport in Brazil, and we got a lot of motorbike Ubers. And this is just some of the culture. They love to sing and dance in that area of Brazil, certainly. On the left, I got invited out to a square dance. I thought it would be a lesson in a square somewhere. It was just random people in the middle of the road on a hill. There was a bus trying to get up the road. They wouldn't move out of the way. They were having their dance. So that's the kind of people that live around that area. Yeah, and we'll speak about the project.
Yeah, so there's the two logos here. There's Projeto Bom Pastor. That's the Brazilian branch of the charity. So they're the team in Brazil who look after the safe house and the activities at the project. And then on the right, that's the Good Shepherd Project, which is just Projeto Bom Pastor in English. And they just look after the donations, and they send the money over to Brazil because quite a lot of their funds comes from England. In Brazil, the churches aren't necessarily very good at giving financially, so all their support pretty much comes from England, so they need to have this charity to send the money over.
And so it was set up in 1993 by a lady called Rachel. She's English, but she went over there with, what's it called, Youth with a Mission, that company. She loved it there and decided that's what God was calling her to do. So she set up the charity with her husband, and her son Joe now helps with the English side. And it was very different to begin with because the neighbourhood, which is called Fatima, has changed a lot over the years. It's got a lot more houses and roads now, and you can see it was just completely bare, the roads before.
This is kind of just a picture showing where the project is in Brazil. So it's in the state of Minas Gerais, and it's near the big city called Belo Horizonte, and you can see it's just to the north of it. It's a relatively small town. It's part of a town called Sabará, and they say it's the neglected part of the town because it's just where all the poor people go, really.
And Brazil is, in one way, quite a Christian country, but Fatima in particular, their full name is Nossa Senhora de Fatima, which means Our Lady of Fatima, so it's basically named after this apparition of Mary, Catholic apparition in Portugal. So it's got very Catholic roots, but there are also a lot of evangelical Christians there, a lot more than the UK even.
So at the top you can see what the project was like many years ago. Do you know when that was taken?
I think it was 2010 or something like that.
Okay, so it's undergone a massive renovation to be able to host the activities it does now. So before we went last year, there was no murals on the wall, but part of our work has been to paint those. So the one on the downstairs that you can see on the right, so Alice, you and Annie designed that last year, and then the team helped to paint it. And then this year, there was another lad that we went with called Oscar. He designed the design on the left, going up the stairs, and then you'll help to paint that. So it looks a bit better now.
And so that was the project building. That's the main part of the project in a way. and it aims to help the children in the community, especially the ones that are poor or vulnerable in some way. But it will also help their families and the community as a whole. Should we go to the next one? And then there's also the Safe House. So it's basically a group foster home. It's not exactly a care home because they have the parents of the house who are a married couple that will act as their parents. Some of the youngest children call them mum or dad. And it's a really big deal for them because most of the families in Brazil are split somehow. There's not many children with dads that are around. Most children, their parents are divorced. So it's really key for them to have those role models of a mum and a dad that are together, that love Jesus. And they do Bible studies with them in the home. And it's just a very loving place.
So this slide shows many of the leaders of the project. So that guy there, that's Lucas. He's the coordinator of the project. So he lives just underneath it. And most of his official job is to look after the Safe House and organise that, but he spends a lot of time doing other stuff. He often works until like the early hours of the morning, working on extra jobs that he needs to do, such as writing letters to the council.
And he's been in hospital several times because of stress and overworking.
Yeah, he burns out quite a lot, which is sad. So yeah, please pray for Lucas. And then we've got Junior and his wife Anna. So we spent quite a lot of time with them over, well, the last 2 times we've been. So Junior is the sort of link between England and Brazil, is that right?
Yeah, he will do a lot of the communications between the English project and the Brazilian one. And he works in the office that's underneath the project, so they have activities upstairs and then they have an office below. Yeah,
he runs quite a lot of the activities and organises jiu-jitsu and that kind of thing. And then
his wife Anna's a social worker in the suburb as well.
Just there is Carla, and she does a similar job to Junior. She works in the office, and yeah, she is the link with the community. So she has a WhatsApp group where she'll send out an invitation to the upcoming events. And when we had our workshops, we made a poster, and then she would send it out to the local community, and then that's how they'd know about it and how they'd come.
And so these are some of the activities that they're running for the children at the moment. This is the main thing that the project does during the week. So they do jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which is a martial art. They've recently started doing capoeira. I couldn't find any pictures, but it's a sort of martial art dance and music that's specifically Brazilian. It's from the Brazilian natives originally. They do circus skills, IT, they'll teach the children how to set up email accounts and that sort of thing. Football, and they also will have a group therapy type of thing for children. So that's the group therapy there. It's a man who, I can't remember his name, it was a different version of Moses, but he was really good with the children, did lots of drawing and thinking about life. It's quite simple, it's not too deep, but they enjoy it, the children. And so the current issues, they always have some sort of issues. It's quite a difficult job and project. At the moment, they've had a lot of struggles with mental health issues in the teenagers, especially in the Safe House. There's a couple of children there that have autism or special needs, but they've had particularly one teenager who's been self-harming and been suicidal, and Lucas has found it difficult to get through to him, but he thinks that he has. When we were there, he was a very nice young man. And they've also had some children trying to run away. Because the children have grown up in really difficult circumstances, a lot of them have been abused or neglected, or their parents have died, and it can be really serious, the situations they've come from. they just want to go back to the thing they know. So people trying to get back to their aunties or mums. And they had one boy that ran away in November. I think I put it in the church WhatsApp. And he came back, he made up with the family there, and he's a he says he's a Christian. So we were really glad to hear that news.
He's since turned 18, and so
Yeah.
he's not being housed in a safe house anymore.
But also they have a lot of issues with funding. There's always more children in the care home than they have money to fund. So they're always having to find extra funds from somewhere.
And then the last point there, a few months ago, the council just completely cut their electricity. They basically made a false accusation that they were stealing it from power lines, and so they just cut their electricity, and so they couldn't have showers, they couldn't cook food. So yeah, they sent out a prayer request for that, and so yeah, they did get their electricity back in the end, and I think they sorted out the payments, which is good.
But there's also been answered prayers. So there are less children in the safe house than there were last year. Last year there were about 17, and now there were 11 or 12, I think. So a few of them have been adopted, a few of them have gone back to live with their family, and so far that's gone really well. And they have also got possible funding to get a new floor of the project to use for the circus. And this boy, Isaac, down the bottom, I showed a picture of him last year, and he couldn't read or write. And this year they've been having someone come in to teach him to read and write, because he's dyslexic and the schools in that area just don't have the ability to provide education for people with additional needs. And the new bathroom, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So I think we've got a picture of it. Yeah, there's a picture of it somewhere. But anyway, last year, I think we might have mentioned it in our talk, but there was a family that we came to know of that didn't have a bathroom, and their whole house was just completely run down. And by the kindness of my church and you guys, we managed to fundraise the trip last year, and there was some money left over. And so we thought it'd be a great cause to give the extra money to. So since then, we donated extra money to this family to install a bathroom, and then it encouraged some other people to give as well who are in Brazil. So
Should we skip through to find it?
yeah,
There it is.
yeah, there. And not just the bathroom they built, they pretty much rebuilt the whole house, which is crazy.
They had a kitchen as well
Yeah,
built.
it's not a massive house, of course. It's very simple, but it's clean and it's not falling down. And we went to visit them. That's them actually there.
Yeah, they still live in the one bedroom, but now they have a kitchen and a bathroom with a shower, which they're really grateful for.
Yeah, so big answer to prayer. Okay, so side quests. These are some extra activities that don't usually happen, but we had the chance to experience while we were there. So they had a Mother's Day event. I didn't attend it. Do you know much about it?
Yeah, so there were all these mothers and parents sat in the audience. They got lots of people in. They love to have a good photo opportunity, so they've got fake grass out the front and balloons. And they got all the toddlers, tiny little children, to sit out the front and took photos, and they sang a song. And they love to put on events for the community. And then there were the Jiu-Jitsu Awards as well, a similar type of event with lots of people. They had someone to come in and talk on gang violence and the harm in it, and how it's better to put that energy into a martial art where you're learning to kind of have control over yourself.
Yeah, this is just a bit more about Lucas and how much extra things he does for the community. So one of the other things he's doing is writing a legal document for another like-minded charity in the area who don't really have the skill set to be able to basically converse with the council, because the council seem to just like to not grant funding. So Lucas has quite a bit of experience in doing it, so he's been helping out another charity to secure their funding. And a more general activity of the project is collecting clothes donations. So they've got a big cupboard of warm clothes that they distribute in the winter. I mean, it wasn't cold at all when we went. And
But it was cold for them.
yeah, it's cold for them. So
It's
they've got
20s, freezing.
I think it does actually get quite cold.
It does at night time.
Nighttime, yeah.
And especially for the older people and the children.
Yeah,
They
so
had a good
they've
stock of clothes.
they were stockpiling blankets and jumpers and stuff to distribute to them.
And so one of the other side quests, the things that aren't actually within the scope of the project, but they just do on top because they can and they want to, was this lady called Marileni. And she met Lucas, the project runner, in a crowd in the nearby town, and she said, "I've had a dream from God and you're going to help me." And yeah, so it was quite an unusual meeting.
She's 79 years old with dementia.
Yes, she's quite old and has dementia, and she's kind of fallen out with a lot of her family, and this is her house, and it's a mess. It's so dangerous for an older lady to live in. It's got holes in the floor, holes in the wall, half of it's subsided. So this is what Lucas is helping her with.
And it's just
And,
unbelievable
yeah.
she can live here because she can barely see, she can barely hear. You have to fully shout at her, and she has a walking stick, and just there, it's a big step up, and there's holes in the ground. Like she could easily just put her walking stick in the hole. And,
People throw rubbish in her garden.
yeah, and yeah,
Yeah, there's some more pictures.
yeah. Here we go. That's the entrance to her house. You can see she doesn't even have a front door. It's just pretty. It's all falling down.
This is Lucas shouting in her ear so she can hear.
Yeah. This is what was her toilet room. It's just completely fallen away. There's nothing there anymore. She, yeah, has to go to the toilet in her garden.
She has no running water either.
Yeah.
Is there one more picture? Oh no. Was there one before those? Before that? Before that?
That was it.
One before that, was it? Yeah. So this is her. This is her main room, her bedroom. And yeah, it was quite emotional. She would often cry. She'd say, "Lucas, don't abandon me, don't abandon me," because she's had such a terrible relationship with other people. And Lucas, he's so incredibly busy, but he still will make time for this lady, helping her with food and everything.
He does her food shopping for her.
Yeah. So what they're trying to do is move her out of the house. But again, that's a difficulty in itself because she's worried that they'll take her out of the house, destroy her house, and then leave her, and she won't have anything. So they're trying to convince her to move out somewhere rented first and then build her a new house. But that's just one of the other side projects of the project. Oh, and we made friends with her. We visited a few times. She was so lovely, and she gave me this, that she's hand-painted, hand-crocheted. He said this at the bottom takes about 6 months. So she gave this to me. She kept saying, "Oh, give a hug to your mum and dad." And yeah, she gave one to Jamie as well. She was just so generous for the little that she did have.
Yeah. She gave us lots of Catholic, what were they? Like
Yeah.
Catholic tracts or something?
Yeah, so they were just tracts with Mary on and things.
And she was like, give this one to your dad, give this one to your brother. And she gave me 5, one for everyone in my family.
Yeah, so she is a Catholic, but Lucas speaks to her, prays with her a lot, so we're hoping that she'll see that the only way is Jesus. And we've been in contact with her a little bit since we got back as well.
Yeah. So these other 2 young people here are the other volunteers we went out with this year. So that's Oscar on the left and Cherry on the right. They know each other from church in London, and they were there for a really long time, especially Oscar. I think he was there for 3 months. But yeah, they were very helpful as well. Oscar did the design for the mural.
Yeah, they were really lovely. And Oscar's only been a Christian for less than a year. And Cherry, her family had a really amazing conversion story as well, lots of them in the same sort of time period. And so, like we did last year, we did some workshops this time. This time I made some animals to bring out, and we, with the children, sewed clothes for them, which they absolutely loved, but was so chaotic and difficult. And I think I asked for prayer, and that prayer was definitely answered, because almost none of the children had sewed before. It was age, 4 to 12, something like that. And I was doing it in Portuguese, so it was very difficult. But everyone came away with an animal with some clothes on, so it was quite successful.
This is a picture of the English lessons that we were doing. How many did we do? A few days of English lessons. Teaching them, what did we teach them? Body parts, food, animals.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes.
Yeah, as you can see. And yeah, they really like that, especially when motivated with sweets. And they were quite good at remembering the stuff, actually. In fact, we did teach them some sentences like what their name is and how are you, I'm good, that kind of thing. I think they picked it up quite well.
Yeah, they'd repeat it back to us in the day at random times.
Yeah. And this is the drawing workshop that Oscar run. So this girl on the left, she did a drawing of the Houses of Parliament.
Which I think she just did herself.
Yeah.
She just...
I think we were pretty amazed at her talent.
And he picked some cartoons that the children liked and then made a step-by-step guide for drawing those.
Oh, I'll just quickly talk about my workshop, which wasn't filming. My workshop was doing some CAD, which is computer-aided design, and I was asked to do that before I went because it's quite an employable skill for teenagers to have if they want to go to university or get a job or something. It's even just using the computer is good skills, but being able to use it for making designs is even better. So I ran a few workshops doing that, and some of them just wanted to mess around or go on games, but like there was 1 or 2 or 3 who like properly enjoyed it, and hopefully they can continue doing that. And yeah, that's the point of the workshops, really, just to get just 1 or 2 children to discover something new that they like and could help them get a job. And again, that was done in Portuguese, which was quite chaotic at times. And this is another project that I did. So the project in England are going to make a sort of promotional video with some testimonials from people that the project have helped. So when I was there, I filmed some interviews with some families. This guy here he's called Brian. He goes to the project a lot, and they're his parents. And it was really nice to see the 2 parents with Brian, because, like we said earlier, most of the children, their parents are split up, and I think him and one other family I saw had their parents together. It's barely anybody, so that was really nice. So I filmed an interview with them, and yeah, most of the interviews were quite emotional, tearful, as they were explaining how the project has helped them and helped their children through dark times. And then that's me with their turkey as well. It was really violent. It scratched me.
And so this was the new mural that we're working on this year. So Oscar designed it and drew it out, and then we painted it all together. And we got engaged in Brazil. So this is the city, Belo Horizonte, that's basically the main part, and then Fatima is a suburb of it. Yeah.
And finally, the projects are launching a new sponsorship scheme to give financially to the project, because there's so much that they need money for. So I think the writing's a bit small, but it says what the money needs to go to. So education, buying books and stuff for the children to learn. Sports is one of the biggest activities that the project runs, so equipment for sports, funding to get in the instructors, and healthcare, medicines for the children. So on the website of the Good Shepherd project, there's a section called sponsor, and you can give £5, £10 or £25 a month, I think, and it will go 80% to helping the team in Brazil and 20% to enabling the English branch of the project to function. So, website fees and promotions and stuff. So I've got some leaflets that I will pass on to Alice, and then hopefully you can have them at your church on Sunday. And that's got a QR code, so you can sign up to that if you'd like. And yeah, apart from that, I think we've got some prayer points. No,
I didn't put them on.
oh, that's all right. Okay, well, we can probably think of some things to pray for.
Yeah. Again, funding is always an issue. They need about £10,000 a month, just for £10,000 a month for running the Safe House, which they don't get all of from the council. For the children that are in very difficult situations, there's still some that are being abused, but they're waiting for, evidence to convict the abuser. But they know of the situations. And
There's Paula here.
Paula, who's not here, but she works at the Safe House. And in, I think, December time, she got shot by her ex-husband.
I think still her husband. I don't think
They've separated but not divorced. And she survived but was injured, and she's just had a baby. So a lot going on in her life. So pray for her.
Yeah, she was shot 6 times, including in the head. So it's miraculous that she survived. But so lovely that, yeah, she's alive and she's got a baby now. And yeah, when we saw her, she was completely fine. I mean, physically.
Yeah, you wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
But yeah, you just have to think like how that's going to affect her emotionally for the rest of her life. So yeah, please pray for Paula as well. And the rest of the team that you can see here. It's very emotionally taxing on everyone, especially Lucas and his wife Fernanda. So yeah, please remember them in your prayers.
Yeah. If you want any more information, then you can just search up the Good Shepherd Project Brazil, and it should be one of the first results. It's got the sponsorship on the website as well.
Yeah. So we're happy to take a few questions, if anyone's got any. Okay, well, you can catch us at the end if you've got any other questions.
How did you find out about the project started? How did you introduce to it?
So,
A couple of times.
do you know Athlington Camp? So that's how we met Joe Campos, who's Rachel's son. And yeah, we just met him one evening and had a very long chat with him about the project. And yeah, we thought it sounded really good, what they're doing out there, and we wanted to help. So yeah, we just booked the flight and fundraised, and yeah, then we went.
About these other evangelical churches, why aren't they involved? These people must go to church, People who run it.
Well, the thing is,
Yeah.
some of them, the Safe House parents can't really go to church because they have to be full-time. Sometimes they have Bible studies, like something like here. So this was a barbecue at Carla's house, and I think that's just how they have fellowship with each other. They have
Yeah.
Bible talk there as well.
They kind of have their own church in a way. It's maybe 20 to 30 of them, and they'll meet every other Saturday in the evening, but it's a home church sort of concept. But a lot of the other churches, they're not all entirely sound, but I think there are a lot of genuine Christians, but as well there's a lot of nominal Christianity. And the church has certain things that it's really good at. They're very friendly, hospitable, and in each other's lives. But again, as we mentioned, they're not so big on charity, fundraising, that sort of thing.
It's just not really part of their culture. I don't know if it's because they don't have much, but I mean, yeah, I don't think it's something that's generally done in Brazil to give financially. Great. Thank you.